Hey, it's Eric. I'm back, and I'm going to take a look at this watch right here, the Black Bay Pro. So I mentioned last week I wanted to do this watch after the GMT, and I do, because I get the same thing with this watch. It's too thick. It's too thick. You know, I don't understand that. You know, it's too big or too thick. This is 39 now. Is it a thicker watch? Sure it is. The one thing I don't get is when people talk about wrist fatigue. That's hilarious to me. I am sorry, man, but I've got watches that are 250 grams. I don't even understand what wrist fatigue is. So you're telling me if you're wearing 175 grams on your wrist, by the end of the day, you get tired of lifting your arm? Come on, man, that's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. I just don't listen to anything to do with wrist fatigue. It's foolish. So this brand is amazing, and I mentioned it before, but it's really my favorite brand. This and Seiko. You know, which is kind of crazy. People don't understand that. People understand me and understand Seiko. They get it. Grand Seiko, the Seiko Marine Master, fantastic watches. But if I had to buy one watch and I had to stick with one watch, it would be Tudor. I mean, obviously with 7 of them, or 8 of them now. It's a great watch. The build quality, the size, the style, you know, it's Rolex's cooler younger brother, as I mentioned in the past. And this watch, I think it's super cool. I think this watch is just really great. We're going to go into the specs, we'll go into the features and benefits, and if you like this channel, please like and subscribe. Thanks so much. So, up close with the Black Bay Pro. This is a fantastic watch. I mean, very different, really different from the GMT Pepsi. Fixed bezel, obviously looking back at that Rolex Steve McQueen. It's a beautiful watch. It really is. I absolutely love most everything about this watch. I have one problem with it, but I'm not into Fotina at all. I just don't like it. I don't like Fotina. I'd rather see it stark white. They did a wonderful job with it. It's not really dark. It's just that cream colored, but it's very consistent across everything from the date wheel. It's just, it's a beautiful watch, you know. Even the, if I can get this thing to focus, even it's that matte black dial, and it's just a beautiful watch, you know. 39 millimeters, and this is not much different from the GMT. I believe this is 14.7, but what I did do was I took some measurements, and believe it or not, just that slide slab is 8 millimeters. So you're looking like 6 more millimeters or so. That's obviously from the case, the top of the case, the domed sapphire crystal, and then of course the case back sticking out. So if you were just to take the side of this, that's 8 millimeters. I mean, it's crazy, you know. It's just the watch does look big, and I think also, you know, it's on this bracelet. And as I said, I don't have problems anymore with the rivets. I had issues with it. I just think the build quality is fantastic. The great thing about this watch, obviously there's so many things to talk about. I didn't even talk about the movement. The movement, fantastic, as I mentioned. It's always consistent. 0 seconds a day, 0 beat error. My time grapher, it hits it every day when I have it. But the great thing about this watch is this T-Fit. I mean, it's amazing. It really is. It's 8 millimeters. It's super easy to use, so it's spring loaded. And you just open a little, either going up or down, and you've got a great fit. It's just a beautiful watch. Obviously, take a look at that clasp. Does it look like something else maybe? Yeah, I think it might look a little Rolexy. But it's a beautiful watch. I mean, I think that's the whole idea of this watch. As I said, the cooler younger brother that can do things that Rolex can't. I think it's a super cool watch. I love it. True GMT. Do I have to show that? Oh, you know, and this crown is different. It's a little meatier, right? It's not bigger, but it's almost unprocessed, we call it. So it's really sharp. And so what we love about it, of course, is right there. And if I can get it in focus, I'm having focus issues today, back and forth. So there you go, back, boom, forward, snappy. It's great. It's just great. Absolutely love it. I think it's a fantastic watch. Only thing, let's put it on my wrist and see what it looks like. If I can tighten this up with a glove on. Big mistake. Shouldn't have put the glove on. Okay. Okay. So let's take a look at on my 7¼ inch wrist, which you know it's going to look good. And you're going to see it from the top. You're not going to look at it from the side, right? So there it is. I think most people would agree that on a 7¼ inch wrist, that this is probably, you know, a better fit for me, for sure. But I do like the Pepsi, and I do think the Pepsi works as well. So the only thing left is take a loom shot. And on that note, I think everybody knows this, but you know, the indices are actually ceramic, and they are superluminova filled ceramic. So that's pretty cool. I do like that the modernity and also the heritage are mixed. So it has very good loom. So let's take a loom shot really quick. So there you go. That's a review on the Pro. I love the Pro. It's not as thick as people think it is. I don't understand. You know, I mentioned before about wrist fatigue. Ridiculous. That's what I think. Anyway, and also, you know, when people talk about top heavy, what are you talking about? I have a 7¼ inch wrist. It's a heavy head of a watch. I don't have any problem with it at all, as long as it's sized correctly, and I even leave it a little loose. I don't have top heavy problems. I don't know what it is. Am I odd or something? Because I just don't have the issues other people do, and talking about thickness and those type of things. I think the watch is cool. It's 39 millimeters. You know, it obviously, it looks back at the Explorer, Steve McQueen. It's an amazing watch. For the money, oh my God, you know, and you can get it. What a novel idea that you could go to an AD and buy it. You know, that's my problem with Rolex. You know, what a great watch. You know, there's actually one CEO, Jean-Claude Biver, and he actually brought Blancpain back and a number of other things he's done in the industry. And he was asked about different watches, and he said, when Rolex was brought up, he said, Rolex is like looking into the sun. You really just can't even talk about it. You can't. And I agree. The Rolexes are amazing watches, and what they do is amazing. And the corporate experience and the buying experience is atrocious. It's horrible. And I do not like that company for that reason. Ironically, you know, Tudor being part of Rolex. I love the brand. I love the accessibility. Even when these come out though, you know, they're a little expensive. They trade probably 1,000 over list, and then they come down. But I still think, like many do, even at 1,000 over list on the gray market, if you needed it right away, I think it's worth it. I think the watch is completely underpriced. Anyway, I love the Black Bay Pro. At some point, I will put them head to head, which only makes sense, right? But they're very different. So thanks so much for watching. If you like this channel, please like and subscribe. Thanks.